Can you do a video on the Colicoids? I sure can. So these guys, they existed in both canon and legends. Now, on both sides of continuities, they are an insectoid species that hail from the remote world of Colicoids. They are known for their ruthlessness, their emotionless nature, and their technological prowess. Now, these 2-meter tall creatures, they are encased in an exoskeleton, and they were infamous for their hostility, not just towards other species, but their own kind too. Their society focused around warfare and technological advancements. It gave rise to some of the most dangerous droid designs in the galaxy. Come on, they gotta look familiar to you. They look like the Droidicas. The Trade Federation actually traded some exotic meats for these deadly creations, really showing off the Colicoids' pragmatism and their aggressive tendencies. Now, switching to the canon timeline, the Colicoids were integral to the creation of the droid army. Their creations were so advanced and so effective that the Nemoidians chose them to mass produce their droids. However, they didn't just sell their droids to just any faction. Despite their warlike tendencies, they actually kept a cautious distance. They were often unwilling to involve themselves with outsiders unless it did serve their own interests. This culture of isolation does extend to their homeworld, Colicoid, which was located far from the core of the galaxy, which gave the species a sense of detachment. But the Colicoids' physical appearance was imposing, with thick armored bodies and multiple appendages, including a stinger tail used for defense and hunting. They were also capable of rolling up into a ball to evade danger. I know, droidicas. But their biology made them formidable in battle. They were able to adapt quickly to dangerous situations, and while some Colicoids were born with superior traits, like the Colicoid queens for example, they were larger, they were more dangerous. The Colicoid species fought with a very cold efficiency that made them feared across the galaxy. But their language was a complex combination of clicks and hums, which was only produced by their antennae and legs. But these kinds of sounds were very difficult for non-Colicoids to comprehend or even create themselves, and they do typically speak in their native tongue in front of outsiders to keep themselves hidden basically. But despite that, they are capable of speaking Galactic Basic, albeit with a distinctive buzz that gave their speech this otherworldly quality. They only spoke Basic if it was absolutely necessary. They preferred to conduct their business and trade in their own language. It just gives them that air of secrecy and control. Now moving on to legends. They were described as highly intelligent but utterly emotionless. They were carnivores and in some cases cannibalistic. When food became scarce, they would just feed on other members of their species. Their diet and their ruthless behavior extended to their business practices. Once again, they showed little regard for their own species. The Colicoids, they had a calculating nature. It allowed them to become successful in various commercial ventures, although their methods were often seen as brutal and calculating. But they did engage in numerous trades. They offered advanced weaponry and technology to anyone that would pay, and that would include the Galactic Republic and the Sith Empire during the Cold War. But throughout their history, the Colicoids were known for their strategic thinking and involving themselves in large-scale conflicts. During the Cold War, they experimented with altering their own biology, creating a type of mutant strain of Colicoids. These mutants were unpredictable but highly effective as weapons. So when the Sith Empire invaded Balmorra, the mutated Colicoids just turned on their captors. But the Colicoids also engaged in complex mercantile games, using both the Galactic Republic and the Sith Empire as pawns, all in pursuit of profit. But they had a series of trials on a remote asteroid, where both factions fought to gain the Colicoids' favour, naturally to secure valuable droid technology. This mercenary attitude was indicative of their nature, because they are willing to sell their weapons to anyone, regardless of faction, if it meant furthering their own agenda. But their business dealings were so well known, because people like Newt Gunray had to negotiate cautiously with the Colicoids. But throughout the Clone Wars, the Colicoids had continued to sell their creations to the Separatists. They were provided with the Tri-Fighter and the Scorpinek, but when the Republic eventually attacked Colicoid, all in an effort to stop the droid manufacturing, the Colicoids retaliated by repurposing their repair droids into sabotaging tools, which created the Pistoka sabotage droid. But as the war progressed, the Colicoids became deeply embedded in the Separatist war effort, ensuring that their technology would continue to flow into the conflict. The Colicoids from these examples, you know they're skilled, you know they're intelligent, and they remain one of the galaxy's most feared and reviled species. They want profit and they don't care how they get it. But their involvement in the Clone Wars, as well as their long-standing reputation for treachery and manipulation, this cemented their place in the galaxy as one of the most unpredictable and dangerous creatures. So I'll have on the Colicoids. Hope it helped.